Almost all of us have gone to high school, the first true moment where we begin to recognize people by types. The athletic type, the popular type, the nerdy type. But some have a more difficult time being determined by type. Not because they're enigmatic, but because they're difficult to find. This is one of those who are difficult to find. If he chose to, he would never have that challenge ever again, or ever at all. You see, something was taken from him, and this beloved something took with it the sound of the world. What was once a luscious and melodic reality was now a cyclical cacophony with no conductor. In a world riddled with noise without passion, he thought, why contribute to the noise at all? So he fell silent, and he faded away from everyone. From his school, from his family, some days from himself. That's what he would tell you, at the very least, but he is the protagonist after all. And one night, amid the silence, he struggled to sleep. He stared at his ceiling as if to get an answer from the only thing not decorated in the room. He wasn't surprised when he got nothing, just sadly correct. But in the blank stare, a thought came to him, a memory. It prompted him to stand up and sift through his nightstand. And in his nightstand, at the very bottom, was a journal. Leather bound with a height just shy of the length of his forearm, and dedicated to him. In the upper right corner of the first page, it led with, "For every idea, good or bad, keep them safe here. You'll know what to do with them when the time comes. Love, Dad." He sat up and digested that for a time, twirling a pencil in his hand, wondering how late he was going to be for school tomorrow if he kept thinking about this. Though, come to think of it, there was one idea he thought was worth keeping safe. He had an artist's hand, so he let it take the lead and transcribed images of a paradise. A cellophane, rather. Everything he could ever want in one impossible land. It matured in his mind from dreamy to tempting, all the way into his sleep. There, once the REM kicked in, the paradise embraced him with vivid, lucid color. And of course, the sound flowed like water. You could inhale its harmonies like perfume, because he allowed it to. Sometimes, he would even play and change its tides because it was his to change. It was his world to fade into. There was no fear here, no sense of loss, no pressures of the world. And by God, it was perfect. But it was maybe a little too spacious for his liking after a while. Landscapes are wonderful to traverse, he learned, but easy for the neurotic soul to be entrapped in. So, well, if he could conceive a world, why not a resident or two? In the time that was right for it, he brought in a friend, then family, then exciting ways to and from, like motorcycles and airplanes. He eventually got so good, he could merely conjure it immediately out of will rather than careful construction. He was a master at his craft, even at the expense of those who looked forward to him. This is our protagonist. A quiet kid, sure, but with a mind more symphonic than any orchestra, more creative than any abstract painting, and more lonely than the stranger next to you. This is the one who dreamt of the story we'll come to know the name for soon, but for now is Project 78. This is Myles Cadian.